You're in a relationship. Everyone has situations where they have a negative thought. And sometimes you've also talked negatively or gossiped about someone that you know, right? So you've got to flip the script and say, at the end of the day, I'm going to let them do those things. But at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let myself post about what I want on my social media, because this is a representation of me and my life and the things that are meaningful to me. And for me to express those on social media is expressing who I am. Is that going to always come across in the best way? A random strangers, will have the opportunity to maybe say something about you negatively. Yes, but let them talk, right? In the queer community, we've dealt with judgment and a lack of acceptance and just fears around what they can say, think, or do about who we are. This theory is powerful for us in the queer community because let's let them. Welcome to the Queer Quest podcast, your beacon of light and sprinkle of glitter in the queer community. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for queer individuals. And together, we are embarking on a journey of transformation. Each week, we bring you a new training topic or connecting with visionary queer leaders in healing and coaching, diving deep into conversations that inspire growth, celebrate diversity, and empower you to live authentically. So wherever you are, settle in and let's get ready to unlock the vibrant potential within. This is where your quest begins. Hello, all you fabulous souls, and welcome to another episode of the Queer Quest podcast. I'm your host, Cristiano Green, the CEO and founder of Queer Quest and a transformation coach for people in the queer community. So this week on the podcast, I really wanted to talk about something that I have been applying recently. I've been seeing phenomenal results where I am just feeling free. I'm not feeling caught up in, needing to control situations, needing to control how other people react. And it's something that's really been liberating for me. And what that is it's called the let them theory. And it's by renowned coach and public speaker, Mel Robbins. And probably everyone knows who Mel Robbins is. She's one of my mentors, someone who I look up to, someone who I listen to. I've read all of her books. And she just makes everything just really so simple for you to understand. And so really today, I really wanted to talk about the let them theory because I believe it's really powerful, especially for people in the queer community. So that's really what we're going to dive into today. So what is the let them theory? Basically, the let them theory is it's a mindset tool, a mindset shift, which really encourages individuals, anyone, to really release control over other people's actions and just focus on your own response. So what does that kind of mean? It really, really is all about allowing others to do what they do, say what they say, be who they are, and for you to let them. So let's kind of talk about situations where I've applied it in my life, and I've just seen normal, great, fantastic, easy to understand results. So situations within my relationship with my partner is probably the main thing, right? Now, I know for a lot of you who've been in relationships in the past, or maybe you're in a relationship now, or maybe you're wanting to get in one, you understand that in relationships, conflict is going to happen, right? It's not something that anyone can avoid. And if you do probably avoid it, then sometimes maybe what's happening is that you're avoiding dealing with some of the issues in that happening. But deep down, you're bothered by it. Maybe you are bringing it up or addressing it, or maybe you're not. But what the let them theory does is, for example, let's just say this morning, right? My partner was getting really annoyed with me because he keeps saying that he's the only one that ever cleans up the cat poo and I never do it. And it's just rah, rah, rah. And so he was getting really agitated, right? Normally, I could get quite annoyed that he's getting frustrated at me and he's ruining my morning. And I don't know why he's making such a big deal out of it. And, it could cause conflict, right? But when I apply the let them theory, in that specific situation, I'm like, okay, he's upset. Let him be upset, right? Me trying to control how he is responding is not helpful. It's not helped in the past. It's only caused more conflict. So I'm going to let him. I'm going to let him just be upset about that. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to have underlying issues about it. I'm just going to let him react and see what happens. So he did that. We went to the gym. The beginning of the gym, he's not talking to me. But I went off, did my session, he did his, and then we leave the gym and he's back in a normal mood. And I didn't get any of the normally I might have had my whole session going, oh, that bastard, he's, da, 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 and I would have had all this thing in my head. I've been worked up because he's upsetting me and I've taken it personally or whatever it is. But I just let him have his moment, let him do what he needs to do. Didn't have to say anything, didn't need to argue or agree or whatever. And he was able to go on and do his process of him calming down. And I was able just to not let something like that bother me. Now, some of you might say, okay, great. So every time someone's going to be upset with you, you're just going to ignore them and say, let them. It doesn't always work that way, right? Now, sometimes, that's an easy situation because really at the end of it, all he wanted to do was vent about how I wasn't cleaning up the cat poo, right? Now, because I haven't taken it personally, I'm now going, you know what? I am going to start actively looking at the cat bin and seeing, okay, look, if you say never do it, let me see if I can do it. I'm going to actively do it. It's not because he yelled at me and, but because I was able to step away from the situation instead of trying to control it, I can go, you know what? Maybe I can help out more. Maybe I can do something, right? You see how that comes from an easier place? Instead of the whole back and forth of like, don't tell me what to do, yada, yada, yada. Do you know all the other things that I do? It's like, there was none of that. It was just a simple, okay, I'm going to let him do that. I'm going to let him do that. I'm sure you can probably think about many times within your friendships or your own relationship or in relation to your family where this has probably happened, where someone's just wanting to tell you whatever it is they need to tell you, get off the chest. And, however they act is however they act. And you can just sit there, okay, cool, instead of normally going back and forth about it. So it's a simple process, but it also allows you to stop focusing on the control of other people and just focusing on what you can control. Now, what are the things that you can control? You can control yourself. You can control what you're saying. You can control your responses to other people. And you can also control how you feel about the situation. Because what happens is when we give ourselves, we get the control of someone else to, manage how we feel, we then really, what really happens to our energy is that we are not in control of that energy. Now, one of my big things that I've been really focusing on over the past few months is learning how to manage and control my energy. I am an empath and I'm so used to just giving my energy away freely to people without really focusing on how I can take care of myself better. And sometimes that's come at the detriment of me and my own health as well. And so for me, I've been trying to focus on how can I manage my energy so that I am in control of that. I'm not going to allow, like I said, a situation that, my partner's going through for me to then get catapulted into it. And then I'm all off the shop and like my day's already kind of gone off to a bad start. Whereas I could just be like, let him act the way that he wants to act, and then let me respond. Now, I know that there are going to be situations that are not as small as cat poo and cleaning that stuff up. There's going to be something that's deeper and that maybe triggers you. And so for the situation, it is about practice, practice, practice. How can I put something into practice on a regular basis so that I can utilize this and continue to do that, right? Because at the end of the day, we will know that there are some situations where you do feel like you're being mistreated. So the let them theory isn't about going, you know what, you just let anyone speak to you the way that they do, and there are no repercussions. That's not how the theory works. The let them theory is about, yes, let them act the way that they act. Let them say what they need to say. Let them show you who they are. And The second part of the theory is called the let me theory, which is literally about you going, okay, this is what this person is saying or doing or acting. Now, for me, I can look at it and go, is this acceptable for me? What are my boundaries? Or how do I see the situation? Is this a common occurrence? How is this making me feel? How is this leaving me here? Like, how do I really feel about the situation? And so from that point, the let me part of it goes, what is it that I personally can do in this situation to be able to move forward and resolve it, or to move past it, right? Because there are going to be situations where you have the where because you, like I said, allow them to show up and act however they act, and they may act a fool in your perspective. You then can say, look, you know what? I'm letting them be who they are, and in response to that, this is how I am, right? Now, again, you could choose to act out of your name. You can choose to act any way that you like, or you can choose to respond from a place that's truly authentically you. Because when you respond to someone else's, issues that they have and whatever it is that they have, and you just respond to that, you are actively allowing that person to have control over you, right? Actively allowing them to have control over you, because you are now internally and then externally in some sort of an issue. Excuse me, I've been sick this week. Let me be sick. But yes, so that's what happens there. And so you get to choose now. Because before, in the past, actively, you might say, look, I'm not going to do anything about this because I don't want to have any conflict. Or I'm actively pretending that they're the issue so I don't have to address it on my end, right? Whereas when you can take the control back here and say, what am I going to do? You need to then start to say, hey, look, this person isn't going, I'm not here. It's not my job to change them. It's my responsibility to control how they feel, right? Because, there are going to be situations, for example, like, you might have a friend's birthday, and normally you're a very reliable person. Excuse me, I am really having a bit of a cough there. But you, for example, you might be a very reliable person, and you might turn up to all of their events, do all of the things, but then there's this one time where you're unable to attend for whatever reason. Maybe you have a conflicting schedule, maybe you're not feeling well, whatever there is. And normally what would go through my mind sometimes when I'm saying that I can't make it to a really close friend's event is, oh my God, she's going to be really upset with me. She'll be disappointed, blah, 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 blah. And I'm in my head trying to figure out what should I say? How can I control her response? How can I control her feelings? Now, the truth of the matter when we talk about the let me theory in a situation like this is that in reality, of course, your friend might be upset and disappointed that you're not going. That's a natural response. So you trying to control and say, hey, look, how can I handle this so this person doesn't actually, have that kind of response? You're actually you're not actually giving them their opportunity to actually go through the process of being a human being. So allowing them and being honest and saying, look, friend, I'm unable to attend for whatever reason, blah, 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 blah. Allow that person to go through the process to be disappointed because they're disappointed because they want you there. And so being able to actually handle it effectively and do those things means that you're allowing someone else to also go through the process of being a human being as well. And are you ready to embark on a journey of transformation that's uniquely yours? Welcome to QueerQuest, the world's first and best personal development platform created by and for the queer community. Imagine a space where your authenticity isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. A place where you can grow, learn, and thrive alongside a vibrant community that understands you. At QueerQuest, we're more than just a platform. We're a family. Connect with like-minded individuals, share your stories, and empower each other to reach new heights. Our tailored courses are designed to address the unique experiences of the queer community, from self-love and confidence building to career advancement and beyond. we've got you covered. It's time to step into your power and transform your journey. Join us today at courses.queerquest.vip, see what we're all about, and sign up to begin your quest. The same thing happens, right? If someone cancels on you, let them not be able to come. Let them go through their stuff, because like in life, like reality is that human beings are human beings, and we have conflicting schedules and things that go on, and we can't always be there, right? The fact that that person is disappointed is that they're right. So let them through. It also allows people to have their own feelings and to go through their own processes, right? Just because someone's upset doesn't mean they hate you, right? It doesn't mean that, your friendship's over or anything like that, right? All it means is they're disappointed or upset that you can't make it to the event. So the Latin theory also can help you to get off the hook of feeling really guilty about the fact that you can't do something, or maybe pushing yourself to do something in a situation where you just really can't make it and you overextend yourself because you don't want to let someone down. Now, that's, at the expense of yourself often. When we do things and we put someone else's feelings above our own, we're letting ourselves down. So the let me is saying, you know what? I have to put myself first in all situations. And in this situation, it means that I cannot, as a friend, turn up to your event. Of course, I wish I could be there, but for this time, I can't. I love you. Hope the event goes well. Allow that person to go through whatever process they need to go through internally, but you can be off the hook of responsible for other people's emotions and feelings. Because really, at the end of the day, we are responsible for ourselves, our emotions, and our responses as well. And of course, sometimes it might feel like we're not in control of those things, but in reality, we can be, because all we need to do is really be able to understand the fact that those are the things that we can be in control. Now, how can this be helpful? The Latin theory can be helpful in managing interpersonal relationships, in reducing stress by relinquishing the control that we have over others. And it also enhances your own well-being because you're focusing more on you than on other people, right? The same thing goes is that, there are times in life when you've got friends, or maybe not friends, they're just people that you do know, and and think that they're gossiping or they're talking and thinking negatively about you. Maybe, let's use social media as an example. You could be someone who is, you triple check yourself and question yourself when you go to post something on social media. Oh, what is that girl from from high school going to say about this? Or what is, my coworker's going to think about this, right? And you go to post something that you love, and then because you've gone through the process, you've decided, I'm not going to post it. Because you're trying to control the fact that someone might say something negative about you, or think something negative about you, or talk about you or gossip about you behind your back, right? The Latin theory goes into this situation and says, let them think negatively about you. Let them talk about you behind your back. Because the truth of the matter is that your social media, or the things that you're posting, is for you in your life. If someone has a negative thought about you, let them have that negative thought about you. If someone's going to talk about you behind your back, let them talk about you behind your back. Let people show you their true colors, right? Because at the end of the day, people are people, humans are humans, right? You have negative thoughts about people sometimes. And sometimes you have negative thoughts about people that you love, right? Your friends, your family, your partner. We all had negative thoughts about people because you're in a relationship. Everyone has situations where they have a negative thought. And sometimes you've also talked negatively or gossiped about someone that you know, right? So you've got to flip the script and say, at the end of the day, I'm going to let them do those things. But at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let myself post about what I want on my social media, because this is a representation of me and my life and the things that are meaningful to me. And for me to express those on social media is expressing who I am. Is that going to always come across in the best way? Random strangers, will have the opportunity to maybe say something about you negatively. Yes, but let them talk, right? In the queer community, we've dealt with judgment and a lack of acceptance and just fears around what they can say, think, or do about who we are. This theory is powerful for us in the queer community because Let's let them. Let them judge. Let them have an issue about you being gay or you being, non-binary or whatever it is, right? Let them. Let them say what they need to say. Let them act a fool. But you, on your end, let's let you just live your life authentically. Let you find the people that do love and adore you and accept you and focus on them and those relationships and get rid of all of the noise out of there and just let them act that way. Because to be honest, these days, I'm like, if someone doesn't like me, I'm like, thank you. I don't have to spend any more time on anything with you. I'm good, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not here to please you, just like you're not here to please me. And there are going to be times where your opinion of something is different to mine. That's okay. I'm not here to change your opinion. Yes, I can. I can, if you want to have a conversation about it, or you want to read some of my stuff and have a proper conversation, I'm all for that. But when someone's just got negative things to say about what I am talking about or sharing on my social media or in general, let them. It doesn't bother me because I didn't write that for you. I wrote that for me. And I wrote that for people who are coming to my page for whatever reason. If they're coming to get some inspiration or some motivation, or they're coming to hear about a specific topic, right? Good on you for coming, having your opinion, whether you voice it or not, great. But I'm going to let you do that. I'm not going to get bothered by it because, there's times when I see the comments and I've got, there's 50 odd comments and, you might have 45 good ones and a couple of bad ones. I'm not going to focus on those couple of bad ones that are just maybe sprouting some hatred or whatnot. I'm going to focus on the 45 people who are really happy with what it is here, right? And I'm going to let, either way, good or bad, you do what you do. But I'm just going to focus where I feel the positivity is or where I feel I'm being drawn to. And of course, if someone over there on that side has a good valid point, let them. That's great. I'm happy to see that you've shared something from your perspective that might have opened my eyes to something. And that's great. So I'm not going to take a negativity of someone saying that you're a loser or you're a whatever. It doesn't bother me. I'm just going to let them. So that's really what I wanted to share today. When we talk about the fact that this letting theory is really revolutionary and it's really helpful for people, especially in the queer community, who might have struggles with their relationships with their family or co-workers or their significant others or their friendships, right? You're trying to build friendships within the queer community and you feel a little bit isolated, right? Or if someone doesn't see you for who you are, let them. But then also use the power of let me. What am I going to do? Am I going to let these people stop me from achieving what I want and creating better relationships or, moving forward in my career? No, right? The let them theory just lets you see the reality of the world as it is, the people as they are, and for you then to say, look, I'm not here to control or change any of you. I'm here to live my life and be me. And so because now that I see all of this, I'm letting you do that. I also get a chance to say, what do I want to do? Let me live my life the way that I want to live my life and just authentically focus on that as well. All right. I really just wanted to jump on and share that because I feel like, I've been using this lately in my own life and it really has shifted a lot of how I feel and how I respond. And it's changing my relationship in a really good way. The end of last year, we went through so many different things with, the renovation, opening, having another Airbnb property. And it caused stress and caused a lot of conflict because I was really at my a really low point. I had to take a break at the end of the year. I focused on rest and reflection. You can probably see one of my previous podcast episodes, which is all about rest and reflection. I had to take that time because I was really, I was at my breaking point mentally, physically, emotionally. That's probably why I got sick, of course. But as I've been focused now on that, I allowed myself to really just delve into this theory. And I've just seen how it's shifted because, like I said, I'm no longer getting reactive to everything that is being said or whatnot. I'm just letting him be, letting him have his moment, and then just choosing to respond where I need to. And like I said, because of that, when I take a step back, let him go through it, he's calmed down, and then boom, there's no issue. And I feel like my energy is protected because of that. So if you're someone out there who's really struggling with your energy and it's just being pulled left and right because you're responding to everything over here and there, this might be the theory for you. So I really want to hear your thoughts and your feelings and maybe a story about how the let them theory could be helpful to you or is for you. So you know where to reach out to me on social media, or you can comment below. I always try to get back to every single person that comments. And I love hearing from you all. But until next week, I'll be back with another episode. So until then, always remember that you've got this and I've got you. And let them, let them, let them.